So my name's Feliks Zemdegs. I'm 20 years old from Melbourne and I've been speed cubing for around 8 years now, and I've won the last 2 world championships. But starting out solving the Rubik's Cube, maybe try and solve the first layer by yourself, and if you get stuck then go to the tutorial, just because it's more fun and more rewarding to actually figure things out yourself. And I know when I started I just went straight to the tutorial, and maybe I would have been better served just trying to figure it out by myself at the start. One thing is when you're starting out, a lot of tutorials would say, always do the white side first, or always do the green side first. But one helpful thing is when you get a scrambled Rubik's Cube, there'll be actually some sides which are easier to start on than others. So for example, if you have a scrambled cube and you want to solve the white side first, but actually the red side is a lot easier to solve, you're better off solving on the red side as opposed to just restricting yourself to the white side. So this is called color neutrality, and basically the ability to start your solve for any of the 6 sides, not just one side, because it gives you 5 more opportunities for easier solves.
I would like to ask you how many do you know in 3x3?
All up. Total algorithms, maybe like 250 or something.
Good.
But there are plenty of people that know more.
Yeah. But the fastest.
But algorithms aren't the answer. F2L is more important than algorithms. Yeah.
Sure. Doing F2L in 3 or 4 seconds, that's good.
Yeah.
Like that. And it's a really big step. So a really big step there, might be learning something like F2L, right? And once you learn F2L, obviously, here you've made it to the top of the step, but you can't really move on. You need to practice it a lot to get to the next sort of step, right? And solving in different ways as well, doing stuff like slow solving. And well, if you notice, if you try and solve differently to what you do currently in, say, a slow solve, if you're practicing just a slow solve, you'll find that you won't actually do too much different to what you would normally do in a speed solve, and that's because you're just doing what you know. You're not doing anything special or different. And for this, I think, to discover sort of new ways of solving and new tricks, I think the best way of learning new tricks for doing stuff like centers and F2L is to just watch example solves from other fast people. Still, I find myself watching videos from people like Mats and Kevin, and they solve cases in different ways to what I do. Something that I wouldn't have thought of. Maybe I'll use it, maybe I won't, but they just do it differently, and it's good to have a really broad perspective on all the different types of cases and all the different ways you can solve them. My main view is that your main sort of improvement is going to come, obviously once you've learned like CFOP, your main improvement is just going to come from practice, because my view is that when you're doing something over and over again, you naturally become more efficient at it. So if we have for solving, your ultimate goal is to not do any active thinking during your solves. You don't want to be thinking about anything on the cube. You just want it to be, all muscle memory. And you'll find when you learn new algorithms or something, you'll notice that while you may be able to do, say, I don't know, like a GPerm by itself, but when you're confronted with that case in a solve, right? Like you may be able to do it quickly by itself, but in a solve, if you learn a new algorithm, you'll find you'll have a bit of a pause. You'll obviously be a bit slower with execution, and your solve will be interrupted. So obviously, in this sense, the purpose of practicing new things is to consolidate what you know. So it's all in muscle memory, so you don't have to think about how you're solving the puzzle.